It's time for Don and Ron. You won't get this anywhere else.
Hey folks, welcome to another edition of Don and Ron. I'm Don.
And I'm Ron.
Today we want to talk about mag switches. A lot of people give us a call wanting to know what to do to those. And so we've kind of broken one down for you. They're really not as complicated as they look. They're a compact little unit, but when they're not working right, they can be a pain for sure. Ron, why don't you kind of give them a rundown of the components we're looking at today? And we've got a fully assembled one here, and then we've got what it looks like tore apart.
All right. Of course, the faceplate is positioned over the switch, and then once the switch faceplate is in place, then it goes down over top of the actual cover here that holds the actual contacts, the little phenolic positioner that holds the contacts. There's two little tabs there that line up and go in there, and then you've got the backing plate with the actual contacts with the poles there on the back. Now Don's going to show y'all exactly how we get into doing the cleaning and stuff here, I assume. There.
All right, so what I do is we just take, well, here at the shop, we just take a simple pencil eraser, and you can look and see how it's kind of gotten all kind of debris, and it's just gotten crud, rubbed into it. So we just take the simple pencil eraser, stick it down in there, and you don't want to use anything abrasive on it. You don't want to tear up your contacts. And you just sit there and rub the pencil around, and you can see the difference. I'm going to zoom in right there. You can see the difference of how one is cleaned and one is not. So it's a real simple process. Same thing with your contacts right here. Just kind of put your finger under it, kind of support it, and you just sit there and rub around, kind of clean that contact point up. And once you've got all that cleaned up, then your mag switch is going to work properly for you, because you know the deal, mag switch has to ground the mags out, okay? And so if we're not making contact, we're not going to ground them out. Now, this little guy right here, the backing plate is probably, with where your wires go, it has a different setting or a spot for each one of these arms to go into as far as the housing is concerned. It won't go on one way, folks. I mean, it will not go on. So don't worry about whether or not that you've got it, positioned right, because once you put it in and clock it to the ears, you know exactly where it's going to go, because you can move it all around and it ain't going to fit but one way. So again, it's not a huge deal right there. So wanted to just talk about how really simple it is. And if you want to really, restore one of these, normally this plate, the face plate itself, is riveted in place. And we've still got the rivets on this face plate, but you just take a number 30 drill bit and you go in here behind, you got the housing in the face plate, and you simply drill the two rivets out. They're steel rivets. Like I said, number 30 drill bit, take your time drilling them out. And then when you get done, you can put regular squeeze rivets back in, but it's got to be the perfect length, because if you got them too long, they'll interfere with your mechanism. And also if you squeeze them too tight, you can wind up putting too much pressure, and the lip right here on the handle, it's got a little lip. If you've got it too tight, that little lip right there will be bound up and it won't work right. So that's about the only thing you really got to kind of be concerned about. Now, this little guy here is one for an example. We just got a simple pick. It's nothing special. You take that pick itself, and this back plate right here is a phenolic, or cardboard piece. And I simply take it and put that pick right against the ear, and I pry that ear out. Okay, you got to get it started. And once you get it started, then you can put the pick behind it, and you can roll that little guy right out. So you can do that on all of them as you go around. You want to take your time so that you don't want to break that plate. There's some companies out there that are making new backing plates, but it's a lot simpler if you don't mess yours up, okay? And when you get done, simply take this little guy, put it all back together. You got to kind of hold it together, and you take you a big pair of channel locks, and you grab a hold of that ear. You can almost do it by hand like I did there. Squeeze it back in place, and now you just want to check for the rotation. Make sure you can feel it engaging, and then you can put your amp meter on here and make sure it's grounding out properly. And once you do that, it's ready to go back in place. And remember, always be careful when you're checking a mag switch. Always assume that it's not working properly. Never stand in the arc of the blade, just in case your mag switch is defective, okay? Or you have a wire going to the mags themselves that is defective. So make darn sure before you get in the arc of that pipe that you know that mag switch is working properly. You can use a meter from the inside out, or just simply outside, turn the mag switch, check it, make sure it's grounded. Make sure that thing is working right. But if you'll take our little techniques, simple number 2 pencils, all it's got to have, clean these contacts up, and bada bing, you're ready to put it back together and your mag will be working properly. So that's our tips for today on working with the old mag switch. I'm Don.
And I'm Ron.
Thanks for joining us here.